What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. Right now you're checking out Lineal Boxing TV with Bertie. Don't miss it, the man is fantastic.
Steve Bird, Lineal Boxing TV. Very happy to be joined by Pete Mercer. Pete, firstly, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, buddy.
Let me ask you a quick question before we start. I was watching Anthony Joshua's previous fight against Joseph Parker, and I seen you doing his security. It was definitely you, is that right?
It was like a massive smile on my face. Thank you, Browno.
How was that?
It was insane. So I'm like a massive boxing nut.
Yeah.
So just to get the opportunity to be around it and fight, it's a boxing fan's dream come true.
Of course. Yeah. Obviously, you're there. Sort of. How much you sort of taken that in as well? Seeing how he prepares, seeing how he talks, seeing how he.
I never got to see Joshua prepare.
Yeah.
So I was ringside, and I was backstage, so I got to see all people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
For the Parker Dillian White, I got to see him warm up and hit pads. I was in his changing room.
Yeah.
That was insane. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's.
Just makes you realise they're just like you and I. They're just people, but on a massive platform. They're just like everyone else on a big platform.
You've just taken my next question out of my mouth. You've got people fighting for a world championship.
Yeah.
And they're still feeling the same feelings. They're still getting apprehensive. Some of them are calm, some of them are relaxed, some of them are worried. And that's why I love any form of contact sport, because it doesn't matter what level you're fighting at the end of the day, you're still in a fight.
100% agree.
And you're still feeling these feelings, no matter how good you are.
I totally agree. And then I was watching them do pads, and the jab sounds very heavy, and it looks really crisp, as you'd expect from like a former world champion.
Yeah.
But they're doing nothing different from what you see in every other gym.
Yeah.
So from like a retired fighter, a fight fan, and like a coach's point of view, you sit there and you have this like enlightenment. You're like, they're just people doing exactly the same, but they've just kept at it with focus. Some of them might have genetic advantages, but there's still just people with dedication who are just stuck at it, doing exactly the same as what everyone else does. Do you know what I mean?
Simple as that, isn't it?
It is. It's amazing,
Yeah.
and it's like you see them on TV, so you're like, that's Parker, that's Joshua,
Yeah.
but they're just people. But they still are amazing, by the way. I was like a big kid.
Saturday, 27th October.
Yes.
Contenders Fight Night. How excited are you about this?
I'm excited and nervous. So it's my first solo. I was doing it with the team, like a different show, a different feel to it, and decided to go solo. And wish the other guys well, but I've moved on, taken things my own kind of direction with my own feel to it, and I'm excited, nervous, because it's all on me. I'm doing it all myself. So it's getting to crunch time. I think it's going to do well, but we'll see.
You're sort of stepping into that unknown as well, aren't you? A little bit as well. So it's
exactly, and it's a new venue. It's a bigger venue. The venue. HG Wells, they require a lot more information, it's a lot more watertight, it's a lot more professional, so it in turn makes me up my game of organising a show.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I've been to that venue luckily about 5 times to watch Woking do their box shows on there.
Yeah.
England have boxed there before, England amateurs. A fantastic fight venue.
It's a beautiful venue, it's really nice. So yeah, it just makes me feel like I need to up my game, and all the other shows that I've been there, you've had like the England squad fight there, you've had loads of boxing events, you've had Stand and Bang, which I'm a fan of, and it's, you don't want to go in there and I want to go in there and make a statement and do all my lads proud, do myself proud, and keep the standard high.
Yeah. So we've got 18 fights, is that right?
Correct.
How many of them are boxing and K1?
We've got 16 boxing matches, 2 K1 bouts, and they vary from, so the K1 bouts they're both female fights. Yeah. Possibly a guy, a light heavyweight K1 fight being added. Yeah. But it's all boxing, apart from that, from juniors straight through to guys with a lot more experience.
Yeah. And I tell you, these kind of shows now, they really are, like, so I'm going back 10 years when this sort of like white collar started coming out. The standard now, some of these guys, they can actually make these kind of fights a platform.
100%.
Where they're selling their tickets, they're getting a really good vibe, and it really is as professional as a show as you're going to get.
Yeah, it's I think going back, like you said, 10 years ago, people would go, they'd have this setup, but it'd be in a gym. Yeah. And you'd pay to enter. And that's what I got mine. Going back further than 10 years, I'd go and pay to enter a competition. So it's the same setup, but you're giving people getting their experience a lot more of a platform.
Yeah.
Making them a hero for 15 minutes.
That's right. And you've got so many different stories. You've got people that want to raise money. You've got people that are really like invested in it and they want to make a sort of, hopefully a career out of it.
Yeah.
Got some people like...
just want to try it.
Just want to try it.
Exactly. It's beautiful. So there's loads of guys there who started training who would never think they'd be brave enough to do it. Yeah. That's a massive journey for that one guy to be nervous to walk into a gym, not know how to stand correctly without losing his balance, to getting in the ring. Even if he wins, loses, but he does it once, he knows, and it's an amazing buzz.
It's the only sport, contact sport, where when you lose, you still win.
Precisely that.
Do you know what I mean?
And if you love, I've had fights where I've won, and I've been battered, but I've still got the decision, or I've still won, like by knockout or something like that. But I left battered, and it made me realise that I still had a great time, and what's the big deal if I did lose? So if you're in there, it is good fun.
Is there any standout fights you're like, as a promoter as well, looking forward to watching? Any standout ones?
Yes, there's one particular fight, and they're both young guys. A guy who I've had a little bit of involvement with years ago, his name's Lucas Cox. Okay. Hello Lucas. He trains at Maximus Gym, and I think he's 21 or 20. Ripped, can do it all, MMA, K1, boxing. And he's fighting my lad, who's Dan Meaden. Hello Dan. He's 17, so there's like a 3-year age gap.
Wow, yeah.
About 4 or 5 kilo difference.
Yeah.
My guy Dan is a wonder kid. Great, he could like just kick heads and he's amazing. He's got good hands.
Just naturally talented.
Very good, but he's exactly the same as Lucas.
Okay.
So I can't pick him.
What weight will that be?
About 68 kilos.
Okay, yeah.
And they're doing a boxing bout. They're both great with the kicks, but this is a boxing bout. That's from a technical point of view, my most favourite fight.
Excellent. What kind of rounds are people doing, Pete? Are they going up to...
The juniors are doing 3 90-second rounds, and in big gloves. And then the main event is 5 3-minute rounds.
Yeah. Exciting, yes, that's the...
Yeah, got a guy called Brendan Moore. He's a knockout merchant, but he looks the part, he looks great. I think he's only had 1 point win. He's at like 10... He's like 10-1, I think his record is, but it's just, he touches you, you're hurt.
Yeah.
And then he's fighting a guy called Fred West from down in Portsmouth, who's 16-1, southpaw. He's a total opposite from Brendan. He's a real slick, technical, not being hit boxer. Brendan will walk you down, march you down, slip and just let go.
Yeah.
So whoever implements the game plan wins, but it's a wicked fight.
I tell you what, it's like the whole sort of ethos is a little bit different. They're such exciting fights, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
They really are.
They are.
Like, people that are just doing it for the first time, all the training, they can train as hard, but sometimes it does go out the window. It does make for exciting fights.
Exactly, yeah. Composure's gone, windmills start.
So how can people get tickets for this, Pete? 'Cause we're 2 weeks away, is that right?
2 weeks away. So the fighters have the tickets, and I use social media for the like all the fighters have got their posters and they've got the tickets. We're capped at a certain amount, and I am borderline overstepping that.
Okay.
But I'm banking not on selling them all.
Yeah.
So I physically have no tickets left.
Yeah.
All the fighters have got them. So when this video is posted, I will tag all the fighters, and then everyone can go and see them for the tickets.
Just going on from that, mate, 2 weeks out, what advice to all fighters would you give now, because they're sort of tapering off the end of their camp? Some might be trying to cram in a little bit more training. What advice would you actually give now 2 weeks out?
2 weeks out, it's hard to get that much fitter than you already are.
Yeah.
But I'd say make this week count for making your lungs scream.
Yeah.
Pushing. It's beneficial because when it comes to the changing room and you're warming up, you know that you've trained. It gives you confidence. I've been in a changing room where I know I haven't trained and I start getting really nervous. And I've been very lucky to scrim through. And then brush up on your technique, speak to your coach if you're having a bit of a wobble. Apart from that, get the work in. Get the work in now for this last week so you feel the confidence, and try not to get injured. The fear of getting hurt or losing or getting shown up, I guarantee that will get overshadowed by the buzz you have of trying.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Just quickly explain, you've been raising some money for Kingsway?
Yeah, so Kingsway is a local school, and I've been working with them for 3 years. All the local schools around here, the mainstream schools, if they get kicked out for whatever reason it might be, they get put in Kingsway. It corrects your behaviour, that's the idea.
Yeah.
So they've got these teachers that are, it's small classes, and then the school send them out to different activities, sporting activities, just to get the kids interacting with adults properly, or interacting with each other, team building, and boxing's one of them. So they tried it out, and we went through all the red tape of getting it started, and it's things we take for granted. Like, we can walk into a room for an argument, so like an interview, we can go, hi, nice to meet you, make eye contact. Well, you know, some of these don't even have that confidence, and if they don't have that confidence, it flips to bad attitude, lashing out. Yeah. So the effects of it have been amazing, and I have to say it's probably been, apart from, it's just one of the most rewarding aspects of work for me, because I've had, without blowing my own trumpet, I've had amazing effects with it. So all the students are super respectful. They shake hands, they make eye contact, they have manners, they carry themselves better, they get more confident, but that drops their attitude. They carry themselves more politely. That's what you want, isn't it?
And of course, the stuff like this in the day, when people do train, they've got nothing to prove to anyone, have they?
You spot on. Exactly. It stops the...
That's right.
And makes them, just more humble. That's exactly it, you're right.
So how many fighters have you actually got on the card that you're actually cornering as well?
14.
14? Wow, that's a busy night.
It's mad. Like, organise it, do my own work, train the lads. I've got a nice team in place that are going to help me run the show. So I've still got to keep an eye on that, but I've still got to give the guys and the girls my time and make sure I don't sell them short from a coach's point of view. So I'm biting off a lot, but I'll do it.
That's it. That's exciting. Really exciting. And like, I just can't bang on enough about this venue. It's absolutely fantastic. Beautiful venue when you come in.
So it's lovely. What are you talking about? HG Wells or?
HG Wells. The venue. Fantastic.
It is lovely.
Venue.
It's beautiful. It's just raised the bar. I'm really happy to, and they've been amazing. So I've got to give a shout out to Woking Council, and they're helping me out with this. It's and they're really happy that I'm doing something for the community with the schools. So they've been a pleasure to work with. Like I said, they do it very professionally. It's made me raise my bar and evolve my game.
It's good for the community.
It's fantastic, and so they're going to get a big chunk of the profits, and I think they're doing a little poll what they want to do with the money. I think all the kids want to do more sporting activities or a nice day out. It's up for them to decide what they want to do with it.
Oh, lovely. Just going on from that, have you got any other sponsors that are helping you out with the show as well?
Cattle Steaks, they're in Woking. The weigh-in's going to be there. It's in the Peacock Centre.
I've eaten there as well, lovely.
Beautiful. I had to buy my own steak today because they're relocating, so I just made that myself. Then I've got my friend's company called Body Fuel, like Body Index. Does all your supplements, your proteins, your pre and post workouts, stuff that I'm not very good with. And CTS, which is James Brown, and he's the guy who does all the matchroom security, so big shout out to everybody, and thank you very much.
Very lastly, let's just go on a couple of our fights, about promoting. What do you make of Conor McGregor last weekend?
Stepped too far, and I'm a massive fan of his, and I was going to put money on Habib winning in the fourth. I thought that's going to happen. But then you still have that kind of little holding on to that magical thought that he could just pull it out of the bag. So I put money on him in the first and second. And I was like, damn, I should have put it on the fourth. But he went too far, and you can't blame Khabib for what he did.
No, that's right. It gets to a stage where it's such a respectful sport.
But I'm a massive Conor fan.
Of course.
Big time. And I want a bottle of proper 12.
But when you start talking about people's families and religion, and it's sort of just...
It's not a sport anymore, is it?
It's not a sport, that's right.
It's a knock on the door, isn't it? Unfortunately.
And also, what do you think about AJ against Povetkin? Very good fight.
Amazing fight. I thought Povetkin looked insane. But then AJ just dominated from there. He kind of weathered the storm and imposed himself. AJ's the man, guy. And that's another thing. So I've met Povetkin. He's my size. I'm not small, but he looks tiny compared to AJ. So when I was with one of my sponsors, CTS, I had to go and get Povetkin and walk him from his apartment to the Principality Stadium.
Okay.
And his cornermen are like units.
Yeah.
It's us there, like we're not needed, but just to make sure he was all
yeah.
But I was eyeing him up like, that's Povetkin, he was my size.
Could I take him?
No, I was just like, this guy's on TV and I was expecting him to be a giant.
Yeah.
But then when you see him against AJ and you realise how physically imposing he is, like if Povetkin was incredibly skilled, that's not enough against someone who can just box really good and just hit as hard as he can.
One last one, Wilder Fury. Who are you calling that?
Wilder.
Wilder. I'm going to have to disagree. I've just got Fury. I just can't. I think when the chips are down, you just can't write him off. But Wilder, if he hits you, he's just got an insane amount of punch.
I thought that as well. So should we have a sportsman's bet?
Less of a sportsman bet.
I think Wilder will be made to look silly
Okay.
for a few rounds and then he'll get through with that big shot.
What's our sportsman's bet? We'll come back to this
We'll
one.
come back to that,
We'll come
yeah.
to this on fight night. We'll decide or
A
something.
naked run down the high street.
We've got 2 weeks. I'm not going to be in the gym.
Yeah, we'll scrap that.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time. I really look forward to catching up in a couple of weeks.
Lovely. Thanks a
Cheers,
lot.
Pete.